There we go. Welcome. We've got great training this morning by Bill Predebon. It's been an interesting morning, but it's always better when Bill gets involved. He is a fellow that is just enthusiastic. He's got a great grasp on understanding of entrepreneurship, of running a business, of marketing our great opportunity, and full of success, and he's here to share it with us. And he's got an interesting topic today. It is the story of a heart attack. Bill, I'm intrigued.
Good morning, Ron. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm to hear more about this story. It sounds really interesting.
Well, I'm gonna try to pull this one off, you guys. I'm pretty stoked to share this story and this correlation. Ron, this is so cool. I think I love my beautiful background. It brings out the best in me there. So thank you very much for putting that up there with my picture. And just thanks for all you do, man. It's just such a pleasure to hear your voice every morning. Take introductions and bring us out on the line here and give us our announcements and keep us all in line with what's going on in our communities and inspiring us to show up 100%. So thanks a lot, man. Right on. So folks, welcome. I'm super excited that we have 86 people on the line. I appreciate that. And, feel free to text anybody on your team or your colleagues that aren't on there, and get as many people on the line as we can. Right. I texted my whole team this morning. Of course, we're getting up to Thanksgiving, so we've got a short week. So the more training they can get on this week, the better, I think. So welcome. As you guys know, I always have a topic for us, and I'm always excited to share. And I've got a pretty cool training I hope that you guys will enjoy and get something from in a couple of different ways. Right? It's going to have some hidden messages, I guess, that hopefully everybody will understand. I'm also going to touch a little bit about the holiday itself, I hope. And as you guys know, I'll type in my little phone number here in the chat. You guys can reach out to me. Hopefully I can help anybody out in any way I can. 760-533-3141 is my cell phone. And if you guys have a question, if you have a comment or a topic you want to talk about, I can always interrupt my topic, and I'd be more than happy to go with something that's more important to you than what I'm talking about. That's what it's about. So, I just think you guys, the more questions and the more comments you guys can have to your 5 stars and to your leaders, the faster you'll have the success that you're going to have with this company and with Renatus and the opportunity. So right on, let's see if I can make this thing work. So the story of a heart attack, it's interesting. The opportunity we have is one that we believe in. It's one that we understand. It's one that we see. And it is one that we, have engaged in. It's one we believe in. It's one that we've committed to. And we want to share it with people. And the sharing is a struggle. If it was easy, everybody would be making 6 figures in the first year and continuing on from there. But it is simple. And sometimes we complicate it. However, that's not what this training is about. What this training is going to be about is the holiday coming up, right? Leading into Christmas, of course, but this holiday in particular, and just really, a story that recently happened to me that I think makes a lot of sense in a couple different ways. So, with the holidays, Michael did just a fantastic job yesterday, and I hope you guys were on that call. But talking about sharing with you again a story. Stories sell. Stories engage the brain in a way that create feelings and emotions, so that people become attached to it and can associate with it better. And so that's why in telling stories when we're selling, it's so important. But Michael's story about his family member at Thanksgiving, I didn't really know that well when he first got started. It's just a perfect story for what you guys have coming up. We get so nervous and we blow it. We miss the opportunity. We feel bad about it. We have guilt because we didn't talk to enough people at our family. And then we stress about it before we get there because we're not sure, we don't want to sound like an idiot, and we don't want to, make it all about us, and we don't want to try to sell somebody something, and we don't want to just, have the holidays there so we can, pitch something to them. But at the same time, we'll dive into this. If you go into the holiday, in my opinion, and you eliminate that fear of what am I trying to do? How am I going to approach it? What am I going to say that's going to sound right? I'm not trying to sell anybody, but I don't know how to ask. And you go into the holiday with this, right? Here's the thing about Renatus. Renatus is what started out as maybe a real estate investing education company. As you guys know, it's evolved into the greatest opportunity in the country. It's a financial literacy company. It's a life-saving company in a lot of different ways. It's a personal development company. When you look at the stories of myself and Christian Sadler and Michael Huggins and John O'Neill and Scott Rowe and Bob himself and all these things, these folks, these leaders, Wanda, and just these incredible leaders across the country, your team members, your 5 stars, they are in a transformation continuously of themselves. They're bettering themselves, right? And, part of that is for some people, it just takes longer than others, right? That personal development. And so, when we talk about our family and we think about the opportunity to make some sales and make some money and enroll our family and get our family and friends or whatever, our closer people to us into the business, so that they're there with us because that's who we want to work with, or because we just know it's so important that they should be a part of it, or whatever it is. One of the ways I believe that will help you change your mindset and reframe this, and so you can have conversations, is come from a place of desire to help. And it sounds cheesy, but what I mean is, if we truly care about these folks, we can go into it from an aspect of the time is now. And what I mean by that is time is short. Like, we don't really think about it that much. We live our lives and we're busy, and we have kids and we have families and we have jobs and we have lives and we have fun activities and we have travel and we stress on money and paychecks and taxes and all. I mean, it just is. And unfortunately, the world around us is created where it's not perfect, and we tend to indulge. We indulge in alcohol. We indulge in drugs. We indulge in cigarettes. We indulge in bad food, right? And we indulge in bad habits. And we are prone to go sit down and watch the TV and work and be stressed all day. And then we go ahead and just, if you can, you guys, just remember, try to mute out if you're not already muted. Someone I think just came on the line. If you want to just check your mute button, I don't have you muted, but no big deal. If you can, try to mute out. But we have the environment that we're in that is not as conducive and positive and abundant and perfect as Renatus all the time. We're not in the Renatus environment all the time. We're not in our home meetings all the time. We're not around the people that have the same goals and dreams as us all the time like we do at Renatus. We're in an environment where, the corporation of America is trying to sell us stuff that makes more sense for them than us. And unfortunately, that includes a lot of bad habits. There's nothing wrong with some coffee and some drinks or whatever it is, but we tend to overdo it as humans. Our meal portions are larger. The amount of sugar and salt intake is greater, and we do a lot of different things that create a bad environment inside ourselves, right? And we begin to create bad habits. We begin to create limiting beliefs. We begin to be overweight. We begin to be lethargic. We don't have time to go to the gym. We don't even really know how to go to the gym. We've never really trained on that. So we ignore it. When we don't know about something, you know, a confused mind will not act, right? When we don't know something new, when we're afraid of something, when we're just unsure of something, we generally speaking, just like Renatus, we won't go into this. Now follow me on this training, because I'm going to get to this in a minute, you guys. But understand this. The world around us is made to, unfortunately, it is not in our favor in trying to make us the best that we can be. It's trying to make the corporate world the best that we can be. It's trying to make the people that are out selling stuff the best that they can be by us in consuming what they're selling. And that includes the loan products, as we know with Velocity Banking, right? We understand that they're selling us a product that isn't necessarily the best product for us. But folks, it goes way deeper. We can overcome financial pain. We can file bankruptcy. We can foreclose on a property. We can get another loan. We can build our credit. We can overcome it, and no one dies, relatively speaking. I mean, there are some people that died in the crash of '08 because of their financial stress, but that's another story. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of people in the world that file bankruptcy and live to see another day. But when it comes to products that are being sold to us that keep us down, right? We are a drug-driven, not an illegal one. I'm not talking about illegal drugs yet. That's a whole nother seminar. What I'm talking about are legal drugs, right? The cure-all, the end-all, the be-all is the pharmaceutical industry, right? The opportunity for us just to take these pills, and then, you know, you're on medications for everything, and then the majority of it stems, from my opinion, from food, right? And if you think about some of the greatest lobbyists and the lobbyists with the most money and the conglomerates that have the most backing and have the most political influence, they're food oriented, right? They're food and tobacco. And those things are there because they're very, very profitable. And pharma is right up there as well, right? So, you know, regardless of what's good or bad, the money will overcome that. It's just a part of the society that we're in. And so what I'm getting at on this, you guys, is our families are not immune to this, right? Our families and ourselves are a part of this, right? In fact, most of us on this line, to some degree, we're lost and maybe still are a little bit in other areas of our life. We might have found the financial opportunity of a lifetime with Renatus, and we've engaged in it, and we've invested every last dime we've had, every last piece of credit we've had into it to get it, to make the 20 grand to even get started. And that's the beginning. Like, holy crap, you get this relief, and you're like, darn it. I got the 20 grand I'm in. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a business owner. And then you haven't even started yet. Now you got to make money. Now you got to create a business. Now you got to get training. Now you got to go, like, it's a process. And you're like, holy crap. I thought if I just got the 20 grand that I would be rich, and we're not. And so the thing is we may have found that with Renatus. We may have found this opportunity of a lifetime with Renatus, but I'm telling you, right? We've come from the same place that our family and friends are coming from, which is a life that has been influenced by negative and poor decisions based on products we're sold. Poor financial decisions based on buying cars every year, upgrading this, upgrading that, upselling refinancing our house, buying product mortgages that aren't good, and then eating crap, eating fast food, working all the time, buying into corporate America, buying into the job theory. I mean, come on, these are the same products. When Michael says we're all consuming, we consume all that crap, and we buy into it because it's what we're taught. We don't know any better yet. We break out of fortunately, something in our lives changed where we started looking for something better, right? And a lot of people in the past, in our families, in our friends and stuff, and our colleagues, they're not looking. But they haven't taken the leap of faith that you've taken. They haven't even gone out and started looking at Craigslist or watched a street sign or called off one. So here's the deal. We get sold on fast food. We get sold on a 10-hour cubicle. We get sold on an hour-long commute each way. We get sold on having 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 kids if you're in Utah, right? We get sold on the fact that we're gonna live a certain way. We're gonna have to get our kids to school. We're gonna have to play sports. We're going to have to pay for this and pay for that. We get sold on going to work more. And then we get sold on the fact that we don't have a lot of time, so we got to eat the crappiest, easiest food we can eat. Our kids don't want to eat vegetables, so we just feed them what they'll eat. So they start them off at a young age wanting a bunch of sugar and carbs. And it just is what it is. But it's unhealthy. All of it's unhealthy. You can back my theory on this because Bob Snyder has implemented Woody into our systems, right? He's implemented Ron Williams into our systems, where Ron is teaching about health and wellness and mindset, right? We're moving into an opportunity where we're going to be able to study. You know, if you look at Michael's progression, right, where he's completely overcome the type of person he used to be in order to be the type of person he is now, so that he could have the success that he envisioned, right? And we're all like that. We're all doing those same things. But our friends and family are not. And so when we're thinking about approaching them in Thanksgiving and in the future, let's start from the basic of the past, that the time is now, that they're dying inside. They're dying a slow death. And I mean this, you know, with all due respect, but not just financially, but physically, because finance can get you a healthier lifestyle. If you can buy more time freedom, you can go to the gym. You can pay for a physical trainer. If you can pay for organic food, or you can pay for a healthier diet, or you can pay to sleep longer. You have that opportunity when you have more time, when you have more money, when you live the life of design that you want. But corporate America does not design, it's not made that way. It's made for the 95 or 99% that are going to be stuck in that world forever. And they will die slowly, and they will be on the pharma, and they will eat the fast food. And when I say they, I mean us, I mean all of us, right? I mean our friends and family, right? And so when we're thinking about how to approach them this year, it needs to come from a place of genuine care. Like, I know you care about your friends and family and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. But man, we blow it up in our head. Like, we're going to sell them something, and they're going to come out of pocket 20 grand, and they're not going to make it in their life. And they don't have 20 grand. And if they did, they're going to spend it. And if they don't do well, then it's on us because we made them spend this money. And, you know, we create this anxiety over talking to our friends and family over Thanksgiving about it. When if we approached it from a mindset where we have to completely open our mind to the opportunity that, if we don't do this, they could die. And here's what I mean by die, is that they are consuming not just financial products, but all the products in the world that allow us to not be healthy in any way, shape, or form. Not in mind, not in body, and definitely not in finance. And so if you think about it, it's not conducive to our friends and family if we are out in the world working 10-hour days, driving an hour each way, right? We're barely making money. We're paying full-blown taxes to the government. We can't even contribute to charity. I mean, come on, you guys, look at the folks that go to Walmart. Look at the folks that are all over the news and everything, the tragedy that is out there, the poverty, and look at where they're forced to eat the food that is the cheapest food. And the cheapest food is the most addictive food it has no physical attributes to your body. I mean, your body just stores it. It's foreign. It doesn't even appreciate it. When you eat healthy food, your body consumes it all and uses it for all different purposes all day long, and you're full of energy, and your body is alive and it is living longer. When you get a solid 6 or 7 or 8 hours of sleep, or whatever it is you want, when you sleep through the night without drug-induced sleeping, you wake up refreshed. You're ready to go. Right? But if you're stressed, and if you've worked all day, and then you've got to take drugs because you can't sleep because you got insomnia, and you got and then you got all these worries in your life, and you know the list just goes on, right? And you got to drive, and then you know you're opening yourself up to all the accidents on the road, and then you're going to be given more drugs because of the pain that you're in from the accident you got in. You guys, it is a deadly cycle. It is a newsworthy, deadly cycle. And And you guys think about this. We have all been there. It is what is the epitome of the freaking rat race. I mean, the rat race is not, I can't pay my freaking bills. The rat race is life, living a W-2 in a world that you don't want to. It's not part of your design. It's not part of what you dream about, what you used to dream about, what you thought about as a child, what you wanted to be as a kid growing up. It's not that. The rat race is all of the things you missed out on that we've all been living until we find one piece of the pie, which is the financial piece through Renatus. Then, if we think about it, we've got an obligation to not only share this information so that people can become healthier, right? With our friends and family. It is an opportunity that is now growing into an opportunity for people to understand health and wealth, as well as mind and body. And Bob is incorporating that in our trainings, in our national events, and in our education. Financial literacy, understanding credit, understanding things that are imperative, business and tax and legal, that are imperative to not just real estate investing. Real estate investing is the way to get the financial freedom, but all these other things matter, right? And so when we look at the story of the heart attack, yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, I would love it if you guys could mute out your phones. If you're, it's odd that if you're on the phone, you should at least be listening to some part of this. But in any case, yeah, mute out if you can. Some of you just aren't on mute yet. I don't. I'm trying to find out who it is, but I can't see it.
What happened here?
Anyway, so with that, I don't know where that is. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know. I can't mute everybody else. So if you don't mind, mute out. So anyway, so check it out. What I'm getting at is that the most important thing that we need to think about when we talk about the opportunity with Renatus, and we're thinking about going into the holidays and talking to our warm market and talking to our friends and family, it's not about getting them to see the vision of Renatus necessarily, right? Michael mentioned intrigue. He thought of one thing that made a difference to him in his life, which was, do you feel like you're paying too much in taxes, right? But if it's someone you care about and you respect, or someone that's skeptical and they just don't want to hear it, right? And maybe it's a genuine, warm-hearted thought process that says, what's going on with you? How's work? What's your drive to work like? How are you feeling? Have you thought about going to the gym lately? Have you thought about, are you walking anymore in the morning? Or, I'm just saying, all of these things are things that are directly reflected to finance. They're directly reflected on the life that these people are living, that you care about, that don't have time. And not only do they not have time, but they might not have the knowledge. They might not have the drive. They might not have the will. They might not have the right tools, just like in finance. So, when we're thinking about the people we're going to talk to, think about their lives and what you know about them, and bring it up in that way. Renatus is going to be a vehicle that eventually you'll ask the right question, where Renatus will be able to bring a solution to it. And it may just be, God, could you just imagine if you didn't have to drive that commute anymore? Or could you just imagine, sister of mine, if you could stay home with the children? What would it be like if you didn't have that job? What would it be like if you were 50 pounds lighter? Have you ever thought about changing your diet? Whatever it is in that world that you're in with that person, you gotta connect and listen and just hear them out. Just let them talk and talk about what's bothering them. What in their world is, and then the solution will naturally come to you. And you will be able to tell stories about the opportunity that Renatus will provide as a solution. It won't be, oh my God, we've got a class for that. It won't be, well, you got to see what we're doing over here. It's going to be, wow, I've become a part of this, this community, or I found this financial opportunity I thought was going to change my life. But what's amazing is I'm learning that pretty soon I'm going to have the opportunity to not actually work anymore. Right. And that's a bad example because I'm not using one in particular, but you're going to tell someone's story from a Renatus where they have been able to change their life financially, which affected their home life. Right. The featured story on Monday night with that couple out of Utah, just a fantastic story. Right. But I mean, like the part about her being home with her kid, and they posted the other day, they went to lunch together. Like, that isn't because they got finances. Do you know what I mean? Like directly it is, but you know what I mean? Like it's because they're changing their lifestyle. They're changing who they are, right? And they're actually going to be able to feed their children the right food. They're going to be able to give their children the right environment to grow up in, so their children aren't bullies, so that their children don't turn to drugs. And don't get me wrong, you understand what I'm saying. The parenting is going to be there, where they're not growing up in a daycare or a nanny. The possibility is endless as to what the return on investment can be with Renatus. My family came up this weekend. They came up on Thursday because we're going to try to meet up with them on Christmas. But this is my wife's sisters. They lived out here in Phoenix for 3 years before her job transferred her to Texas. And my wife's sister and her husband, they've been together 20 years. They have children from their first marriages. And I got to be pretty good friends with them over the last 3 years when they lived out here in Phoenix next to us. In fact, when they relocated out here, they stayed with us for 3 months. And they decided to come up this week for Thanksgiving early, because next week they have family going into Texas to see them, and then the Christmas they're going to see their other kids out in Pennsylvania and Michigan. And so it was the best time for us to get an opportunity to see them, because they were really our best friends out here, and we went to dinner with them every week. So we wanted to get together. So they came up, and we had a fantastic Thursday night. We watched Thursday night football. We went out and had early cocktails. And then we went into Old Town and did some shopping. And then we went to the Mexican place and watched the football game and had, margaritas and some tacos and stuff, and just had a great night. Got up the next day. I had some work to do on Friday. And then they got a manicure and a pedicure, and the girls did their thing, and Frank hung out and relaxed and slept off his hangover and whatnot. And for a long time, Frank's a good, hardworking individual, but he's grown up, as a victim his whole life. And I don't mean that badly. I just mean that the environment he grew up in was one of very limiting beliefs. A small town. He's very, very dependent on alcohol and drugs. And, he's not a very healthy eater, and he doesn't know a lot about it, and he doesn't really care. I mean, he lives a life that he likes. He's very talented as being in his job, and his HVAC job. He's very, very gifted. He can fix any appliance on the planet, and he makes decent money. And they just have a love-hate relationship for a long time. And unfortunately, there's no doubt that he indulges in the things in the life that are the least expensive, but the most damaging, right? The types of foods that he eats, the cigarettes he smokes, the alcohol he drinks, and the pharmaceutical drugs that he takes. And he lives his life. So it's a 24/7. When he's done with work, he's tired and he watches mindless TV. There's not a lot of motivation there. There's not a lot of drive. And I don't mean that bad. He's driven on his work, you guys. He's a family man. But he's young, you guys. He's 53. And And we go to dinner. We go to dinner Friday night. We went to a place up on Camelback Mountain, a very nice, expensive resort, beautiful reservations, you know, dress up, valet park, and the whole nine. We go out to nice dinner, and he's complaining a little bit about indigestion, and for him it's common. Indigestion is common for him, and he takes a Zantac or something, whatever prescribed drug you can take for indigestion, and he feels a little better. And he proceeds to drink, you know, 2 large glasses of wine, two vodka martinis. He eats a very, very rich, hearty steak and mashed potatoes and a lot of bread. And then he ate his wife's leftover veal that she didn't eat. Being vegan, it was a very interesting meal, to say the least. That they choose the meats that they you know, but that's fine. It's what they eat. You know, I don't push any type of habits on anybody, but that's everybody's choice. But their food choices are not the healthiest, right? Their drink choices are also not the healthiest. So he got better. He felt better, and at the end of dinner, you know, we felt he was doing all right, but he went to the bathroom. And Frank, you guys believe this or not, if there's one thing you can do, you can drink a lot of water to help your system, and you know, wake up in the morning, drink some lemon water or some cayenne water, and just balance your system out before you drink your coffee or whatever. But regardless of that, he doesn't drink much water. But that night he was drinking a lot of water. And it was kind of odd. His wife was like, you know, we asked him, are you sure you're all right? And like, do you have any pain anywhere? He's like, no. He's like, it's just indigestion. He's like, I just feel like I've got some gas in my, you know, some acid reflux up in his throat. And he's just like, she's like, could not get rid of it. Went away for a while he ate. So he felt okay. He's like, well, let's go to the bar, you know, let's go have a happy hour, and then we'll go home and we're going to play cards. And call it an early night and go in and play cards and play a game or something. And that's what we were going to do. And so we went to the bar off the end of the place there. And we ordered our drinks, and he went to the bathroom, and he came back out, and he, you know, pounded another glass of water. And we're like, are you sure you don't want to go to the hospital? And he's like, nah. It's like, maybe I'll go to the hospital. And at that point, if Frank is going to the hospital, like you guys know, you have people in your family, they never go to the doctor. You know, they're at risk. You know, Frank is definitely overweight, and so Frank is now in pain, and he's not falling over, but there's a problem, and we're very concerned that he's having a heart attack. And this is my brother, somebody that I care about, someone I became very close with over the last several years, and he's dying. He's dying in my car. I'm doing, 80 miles an hour through red lights to get to the ER. Thank God I love to drive fast, and I feel like I'm a pretty good driver. And, you know, it was early that night. It was only 8 o'clock on a Friday night, so there wasn't as much traffic out. And we got him to the ER. It took me maybe 10 minutes to go what normally would take 30 minutes. Given all the lights and the roads that we were on, and you know, the place where the hospital was located, and I probably got him there in under 15 minutes, maybe 10, 12 minutes, and his wife was absolutely hysterical, and he had a massive heart attack, you guys. 53 years old. When he got to the hospital, his heart was functioning at 20%. He had 3 major clogs. He had a collapsed stent from a heart attack he had 8 years ago, or not a heart attack, but some sort of heart incident. And they had already put a stent in 8 years ago. He never went to check it up. He never goes to a cardiologist every year to check on his heart after a major trauma from 8 years ago. And he's 80% blocked. He's practically dead. In fact, he should have been dead. I don't know why he lived. And so he is in the emergency room, and it's stat. I mean, they're calling code red over the freaking thing. I had to break through. They weren't allowing me to go see him because I had to go park the car, and I came back in, and like there's only 2 visitors per person, and so I'm sitting in the in the waiting room, and they're like, code red, you know, blah, 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 come on in. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm going to lose my brother. I'm not even going to see him. I'm going to go. And they're like, you can't go back there. I'm like, well, you can arrest me. I'm going back there to see him before he freaking dies on me. And I went through the door, and fortunately they saved him. They got him stable. They got him stable, and they saved him right there. And then, of course, as soon as I turn around, there's three security guards coming to drag me out of there, which was kind of interesting. And apparently there were some power outages around the hospital. So when they escorted me out of the hospital, there was about 15 cops out there, but fortunately they weren't there for me. But they were there nonetheless, and they escorted me out. So I just went home and fed my dogs, and I couldn't go back, and they stabilized him. But he had 3 major blockages. They saved his life. Maybe we saved his life by getting him there as fast as we did and not having him fall over. And it was a long 3 days. What should have been a fun weekend was no fun. He spent the majority of it in the hospital till Sunday afternoon. Changed their flights. They were going to leave Sunday. They ended up leaving yesterday. And his life changed. And I'll get to that in a second. But, on Saturday I had an intensive. So, I went to the hospital in the morning, and then I got over to the intensive. We had a big event, and there wasn't much room, anything I could do at the hospital. So, the girls got some rest, and they went and visited for lunch. And, on Saturday, he asked what's for lunch. He's pretty hungry now. He hasn't eaten in 24 hours or whatever. And he was getting a little hungry, and he's like, girls, maybe you could just go out and get me something like a hamburger and just make it easy on you. And my wife was just like, are you kidding me? A hamburger. Like, if you heard, there's a big note on the whiteboard right there. It says heart healthy diet. Hamburger is not on a heart healthy diet, folks, just FYI. And the point is, it's ingrained in us, our habits. We don't know how to change. We are not going to say yes to Renatus overnight. When we've had 50 years of the way we're brought up, we're filled with limiting beliefs. We're filled with what we've been taught. We've been sold a bill of goods for freaking years, guys. And it's not just financial. It's absolutely every part of our lives, our body, our minds, what we eat, how we work, and it causes heart attacks. It causes people to die, maybe some faster than others. He went to the cardiologist on Monday. He got out Sunday. We went out to dinner, and I try to eat. It just is what it is. It doesn't matter what I eat, but I eat salad a lot. I probably eat too much bread. But I ordered a salad. My wife ordered a salad. His wife ordered a salad, and he ordered the meatloaf and mashed potatoes. And, meatloaf made by my mom, I don't think had sugar and salt in it. I think it had meat and some sauce. But it was not a 3,000 calorie meal. But when you go to Cheesecake Factory, the meatloaf is a pretty high caloric meal. It is filled with fat and sugar because it's made to taste good. And his choice was, in my opinion, interesting, to say the least. He's scared to death. They decided to quit smoking immediately, so they're on the patch. They're making some serious changes, but I'm going to tell you this, you guys, as we go through this with what you're going to face when you're talking to people that are friends and family that you care about, that need this information, that need to be a part of Renatus. You guys, listen to this. It's a world of change. You've struggled through it yourselves. You've all gone through it. It is a constant battle to change your life for the better. Now, he's depressed, beyond depressed, because he's not only embarrassed, if you want to call it that, right? He's saddened by, but his life has got to change. Everything he knows and loves, everything he is, if he wants to live past the next 5 years, literally, most people, 85 or something % of people that have a heart attack die within the next 5 years because they don't change their habits and it gets worse. He's going to die in 5 years if he does not change. And I'm not just talking about quitting smoking. But folks, it's just like financial. It's all we know. It's what we've been doing for years. Saving, working hard, driving to work, right? Providing for our family. When we did take risks, we lost. And so now he's faced with the fact that he can't drink like he used to drink, right? He can't smoke. He can't just eat anything he wants. He has to constantly make a decision on what is going to be better for him to eat. Foods that he doesn't even enjoy yet. So he can't imagine enjoying them. So if that's not depressing, I don't know what is, right? You're like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't even like that kind of food. I don't, when I get done working a hard day, when I need a break, I smoke. Whatever it is, you know, when I want to go home and watch TV for 4 hours and binge watch TV, that's what I do. That's who I am. But now you're telling me I can't do that. I got to walk once a day for 30 minutes. I got to quit smoking. I got to start eating, you know, salad. I don't even eat vegetables. I don't drink water. And now you want me to do these things because I'm going to die? Like, it's the same thing with finance. You're telling people that they got to invest in real estate, that they got to get a business, that they got to think about how to bank. They got to think about their future, that Social Security is not going to take care of them, that their pension's not going to take care of them, that the 401k is a joke, right? That they're going to die like a punk if you listen to Michael Huggins, right? And we're dead serious. Like, he says that jokingly, but folks, he's not kidding. A financial death is a slow, miserable death. And you might live till you're 70 or 80 because you eat healthy. But if you don't have finances, you're going to struggle. And you're going to be in a crappy home if that's where you're going to end up, right? Or you're going to live on a crappy salary. You're going to eat rice and beans instead of living out your golden years, having all the money you want so you can travel like we dreamed of doing when we retire. But these are the people you know and love. These are people that are going to die a freaking miserable, low, slow, financial death over time if we don't share this information. But we get too scared. We don't want to do it. We can't help our friends and family because we haven't done anything yet. Well, what are they going to think of me? What do they think about what I've done? That's not true. What you've done is far greater than 99% of the people, which is join this company, which is invest the money, which is seek out a mentor who's gone down the path that you want to go, which is hang out with 5-star people and hang out with people making 6-figure incomes and hang out with people making 7-figure incomes. Hang out with people that are flipping houses and buying rentals. Hanging out with people that are doing velocity banking and saving money on interest. You're changing your life and you haven't even done a single thing but make a decision. In fact, you've made several decisions. You made a decision to do this. You made a decision to go on a Thursday night when you had much better things to do with your life, like eat crappy food, smoke and drink at the bar, watch football, watch somebody else get rich while you sit there poor as heck, right? Instead of doing all the things that you normally did, you made a decision to go sit there for 2 hours through the most boring presentation until you got there and it was really cool. But you had to turn it down 3 or 4 times before you did it. You had to say no. You had to blow somebody off. For most of us, we had to call on a cold lead. So then we had to turn that thing down how many times? Looking up, not calling that. Call and hang up, blow the guy off that called you back or the girl. You've done something amazing. I don't care if you flipped a house. I don't care if you enrolled a student. You made a decision. You're on this damn call at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning. Maybe you're in the bathroom at work because you want to get on this call. You know, Monday night, you skip Monday Night Football, one of the greatest football games in the history of football last night, and you're on the webinar and your team call. You're doing things that are different. You're changing your heart healthy life. You're not going to die a slow financial death anymore. if we don't share this information with people we love and let them make the decision over and over and over again to say no, they will die of a heart attack. My sister-in-law is too afraid to even tell Frank how she feels. He's in a very fragile state right now, she says. I can't bring that up. Now's not the time. I'm going to let him get through it. You just had a heart attack, bro. Like now's the time. Now is the time to tell you to quit smoking. Now is the time to tell your family that, by the way, the 401k is kind of broken. By the way, you don't have enough money in you might want to Google retirement calculator, see where you're at 10 years from now. By the way, all the dreams that you ever had are gone until you relive them again. Now's the time. It's not when things are good. It's not when you feel good. It's not when you feel all better about yourself because you did a deal. That's not the time. The time is now. You hear a lot of the leaders talk about saving lives, Bob Snyder himself, and we joke about it. But honestly, money doesn't buy you everything. But the financial opportunity that was provided by Renatus, without a doubt, can save a life. It can allow people to be less stressed. It can allow people to get engaged with someone like Ron Williams that can save their life physically, get them off their diabetes 2 medications, get them off their sleep pills. It can allow them to pay for a gym membership. It can allow them to buy organic food. It can allow them to provide education to their children so that their children don't follow in the footsteps that the major corporations are selling us, the products that they're selling us. That's what it can do. But if we don't get them in the hands of the information, into their hands, they're going to die of a heart attack. It's a process. They're going to be faced with overwhelming thought that they can't do it. Changes in their lives they can't imagine making. They've been driving to work for 40 years and now you don't want them to go to work? They've been trying to save money for years, and when problems have, when the kids needed something, they had money in the bank. They had equity in their home. And now you want them to get a HELOC and risk it all? It's overwhelming, the thought of them changing in those directions. But it's overwhelming when people want to decide to quit smoking or quit drinking or change their eating habits or change their diet or get to the gym. But it's one day at a time. It's one decision at a time. And you guys have made the decision. You guys are leading by example. Regardless of what you've done with Renatus, you're leading by example because you're here. You've dove into the pool already. You're soaking wet. Reset your mind this week on how you want to talk to your warm market and what you want to talk to them and why you want them here. Reset your mind as to why you want them to live longer. And I can almost assure you that it's not just financial, but it's health, it's pills, it's food, it's exercise, it's taking time off the phone. All the things that make you healthy. And none of those things are conducive to corporate America. They don't make corporate America money. The bad habits that we indulge in make corporate America happy. With Renatus, we have an opportunity to change that. You have an opportunity to share this with your family for the right reasons. And to be honest, you have an opportunity to share with yourself. You have an opportunity to change your life physically, health-wise, Mind-wise with Woody and personal development that Michael provides for us on the Audible. The leadership, Christian and the guys in Utah and Las Vegas and Denver, Arizona. They're out there paving the path, following the footsteps of Bob and all the pack members, creating an opportunity for you to become healthy in all aspects of your life. You guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. Be thankful and grateful. I will. I'm going to enjoy my family. I'm going to work through Thanksgiving. I'm going to work every day. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about being on this call with you guys. I'm grateful for you people being on this call. It means so much to me. I can't even tell you. I appreciate you listening to my story. I hope it means something to you. Take it to heart. No pun intended, but don't let anybody you know die of a heart attack. Save their freaking life. With that, you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. Enjoy the meeting tonight, wherever you are. You're welcome, Keely. Amy, you're welcome.
I appreciate you sharing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Scott, Melissa, thank you guys. You guys are just fantastic people. It means so much to me to listen to your comments.
You're wonderful, Bill.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. You guys I'm glad he's alive. I'm grateful he's alive, and hopefully he'll take it to heart himself.
Thanks, Bill.
You got it, man. Thank you. You guys have an amazing day. Make it awesome. Make it a great Thanksgiving. Touch somebody's life. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Scott. Have a great day, everybody. I'll say goodbye. I hate to end the meeting, but I guess we got to get on with our day, unfortunately. So make it great. It's 8:59. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for listening to me. And thanks for being here on this call.
If I could give you a great hug, I'm giving you a hug right now, Bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I appreciate it. I can feel it. I feel the hug. I feel the love.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Thank you, man. All right, folks. Have a great day. Have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football season. And indulge in your food delicately. Take care, everybody.